subject is Science for Standard 9 and current chapter is chapter number 2 is matter around us pure. We have already started this chapter, just started in the previous period. There are so many substances are around us, we call them matter. Are they pure or not? So we will discuss in the common language and also in the scientific language. In common language, pure means no any other substance is added in it. Suppose we say pure ghee, means it is not vegetable ghee or any other adulteration is added in it. So this is the common language. But when we discuss scientifically, so pure milk or pure ghee, so what are there? There are fat, protein and water is there in milk. So this is in the common language. But if we talk scientifically, all the constituent particles of the same chemical nature, means all the substances which are there in that substance are of having the same chemical nature. Here there are three particles, all of them are having the different chemical natures. And here all the particles are having the same chemical nature. Then it is called pure scientifically. Suppose we say pure gold, means only the gold particles are there. No any copper or iron particles are mixed with it. So here we can say the pure word in our common language and this is the pure word in the scientific language. Now again, when two or more particle mixes with each other, if they mix very homogeneously with each other, so we can't separate them easily. So this type of mixture is called homogeneous mixture. Means they are having the uniform composition. Now suppose if we take a bowl and water, pure water in it, and when we add some salt and we stir it, it will dissolve. So after dissolving it, we can't separately see where is the salt particle and where are the water particles. So this type of mixture is called homogeneous mixture. This homogeneous mixture can be between liquid and solid, can be solid and solid, can be gaseous and solid, gaseous and gaseous. So here all type of mixtures are possible. Some of them are homogeneous, some of them are heterogeneous. Again one more example, air. In air there is a nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21%, then hydrogen, carbon dioxide, all gases are in it. But they are homogeneously mixes with each other. So air is an example of homogeneous mixture which are having all the particles in a gaseous state. We can't separate easily any one gas from it. So this type of mixtures are called homogeneous mixtures, and I have written here in short, they are having a uniform composition. They are finely mixes with each other. Okay? And other type of mixture is heterogeneous mixture. Means they are no non-uniform composition. Suppose in a plate or a bowl, if we take some iron filings and if we add the sand particle in it, these are the sand particles, these are the iron. So when we mix it, they won't mix homogeneously, finely. So this type of mixture is called heterogeneous mixture. when the constituent particles are not mixed with each other fine. So this is a solid type. Suppose in a beaker having the water and we add sand particles here. So it will not dissolve in it. They will remain at the bottom. So this is called heterogeneous mixture. If they dissolve and we can't separate easily, here we can separate easily when we make it stable, undisturbed. So after some time we can take water differently and we get the sand particles in the beaker. So they can be separated easily by the filtration. Here we can separate also. One more example, stones in wheat grains. So by picking we can separate them. This is a heterogeneous mixture. But if all the particles are finely mixed with each other, and it is not easy to separate them with the simple method of filtration, then it is called homogeneous. If it is possible, then it is called heterogeneous. So I hope that idea of homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture is clear in your mind. Now our next topic is about the solution. Solution is also the combination of two or more substances. These two substances, two or more, they can be solid, they can be liquid, they can be solid, liquid, they can be liquid, solid, they can be solid, gaseous. All possibilities are there. Friends, when you start watching the video of science, keep textbook with you, keep paper and pen with you. Note down the important things which I write here, so it will be easy for you to remember. Okay. Now, solution. What is solution? On the page number 15, a solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. Now here there are three types of solution. One type is just the solution, we can say. Here we can consider it is true solution. Then suspension solution, and third one is colloidal solution. So these are the types of solution. We will learn one by one. Just solution means we are considering it is a true solution. Second numberly suspension solution, and third is the colloidal solution. We learn their properties and can they pass the light or not. Everything we will discuss one by one. Now first of all we will discuss about true solution. True solution means solution is a homogeneous mixture. So first property of this, first we are learning about this homogeneous mixture. Very well known and easy example. Take in a beaker, add a pinch of salt and stir it. So salt particle will not be seen separately. So this is the solution, true solution. So here we can say it is is a homogeneous mixture. Now, one another property is having the particles. It is on the page number 16. Properties of the solution. A solution is a homogeneous mixture. Number 2. The particles of solution are smaller than 1 nanometer. I have already discussed about nanometer. This is the unit of a length. Students, again, I will clarify here. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. Okay. 1 meter is equal to 1000 millimeter. Means 10 square centimeter is equal to 1 meter. 10 raised to 3 millimeter, sorry. So in this way, suppose 10 raised to 6 is micrometer, and 10 raised to 9 it is called nanometer. So 10 raised to 9 nanometer is equal to 1 meter, students. These are the relation between centimeter and meter, millimeter and meter, micrometer and meter, nanometer and meter. Also there is a picometer, 10 raised to 12. But here you have to remember this. So when we divide 1 meter into 10 raised to 9 parts, the smallest part 1 is called nanometer. And here the size of the particle is less than 1 nanometer. So from this we can conclude that particles are very small, which we can't see with our naked eye. Electron microscope is required to observe this. Third property. Because of very small size, they cannot scatter the light passing through it. Now, what is scattering of light? Okay, I will explain it. Scattering of light means they spread the light in all directions, and this effect is called Tenard effect. Suppose this is water, we can say salty water. When beam of light is passed through it, the path of light will not be visible through the solution. This won't be seen in the true solution. So it is called the path is not visible. Particles are very small, so they are not able to scatter the light. These are the characteristics of the solution, or rather we can say true solution. Next, the particles cannot be separated from the solution by simple filtration. So, suppose this is salty water and we filter this solution. So, we can't get in the separately the salt particle and also the water remains in the beaker when we filter it. So it won't be happy because it is already dissolving it. It is a homogeneous mixture. So it cannot be separated by filtration. I am writing here in very short. Not separated by filtration. So here are the properties of solution, is true solution. Again, we will learn some more properties of the solution. Then we will learn the property of suspension, then colloidal, and then we will compare all the three type of solution one by one. But before that, here the example of between liquid and solid means salt is in solid form, water is in liquid form. So it is forming the homogeneous mixture of solid and liquid. Again, I stated that air is the mixture of gas, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. So it is homogeneous, and also it is not easy to separate each gas from the mixture air. One more example. Solid. Alloy. Alloy is a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals, and both metals are in solid form. Suppose we take the copper and zinc. These are the two metals, Cu and Zn. So it forms one alloy, and it is having the different properties, somewhat different from copper and zinc. And when we have to separate this copper and zinc from this mixture, from this solution, it is not easy to separate. So here, just I want to tell you that this true solution can be of liquid, solid gases, any of combination, or two or more can be there. They are very small particles and they cannot be separated by the simple process of filtration, and they do not scatter, the light passes through it. So these all about the true solution. Students, already all the properties of true solutions are given on the page number 16. Just underline it. Properties of a solution, and you have to make it by heart. All the properties are very easy, students. Now, our next topic is, we are learning about this. These two are there, but we will learn about them later on. Now, our point is concentration. Water is the best solvent because many substances can be dissolved in it. So you just know what is solute, what is solvent, and what is solution. Suppose, again, the same example we are taking. Beaker is there, water particles are there. When we add salt in it, here it is water. So here salt, water is called solvent. Salt is called solute. And when we stir it and we get salty water, is called solution. So these are the three words having their separate meanings. Water, which is in the bigger quantity. So water is a solvent. water is a universal solvent, we may say, because many substances are dissolved in it. But here we are considering it as a solvent. When we add salt or sugar or whatever it may be, copper sulfate, CuSO4. So it's very having a beautiful color, bluish beautiful color. So it is the solution of copper sulfate. So any substance when we add in water, if it dissolves, then that particle, that substance is called solid. And when after dissolving, when the substance is created, here the salty water, is called solution. Now, our topic is concentration. Suppose this is beaker A, B, and C. And here 3 beakers having 100 ml of water. In all the 3 beakers, if we add, this is A, this is B and this is C. Suppose here we add in this 25 grams of salt. In this, if we add 100 grams of salt, here in add, suppose we add 75 grams of salt. The proportion of solvent is same in all the 3 beakers, 100 ml, 100 ml, 100. In the beaker A, we are adding 25 grams of salt. In the beaker B, we are adding 100 grams of salt. And in the beaker C, we are adding 75 grams of the salt. So, when we stir it and when we test it, which one will be more salty? Obviously the B one, because proportion of water is same, but here amount of solute is 100 gram. So we can compare all this. So amount of solute is same. So we can here say that concentration of B is most among these 3. And concentration of A is least. Highest we can say, and here it is least, and this is the medium. So from this we can decide the concentration. Sometimes when we eat, when we drink tea, so it is very sweet, so we can say it's very sweet tea, we can't eat. It means proportion of sugar is in the tea is more, so it is more concentrated tea. And if the proportion of sugar is very less, it is less, having the less concentration. So here the word concentration means the amount of solute in the same amount of solvent. If it is more, it is highly concentrated. If it is low, it is very lower concentration. So this is about the concentration. Students, also write down this. Okay? It will make the idea clear in your mind. Now, our next point is saturated solution. Now, what is saturated solution? When we add a solute solvent. Okay, some amount of solute we add in solvent, it will dissolve. Now we add more solute in solvent, again it will dissolve. Again we are adding more solute in solvent. But a time comes when no more solute can be dissolved in solvent. Then that solution is called saturated solution. Again, the example of salty water. This is the water. If I add salt, it will dissolve. Again I add more salt, will dissolve. Again I add more salt, will dissolve. After that a time comes, no more salt can be dissolved in this solvent. Then that solution is called saturated solution, students. And it is called highly concentrated solution. Students, suppose now we want to, it is saturated, but if we want to dissolve more salt in it, so what we have to do? We have to heat it. So when temperature increases, again its saturation level also increases because molecules are going apart from each other. So again in some amount more salt can be dissolved. So saturated solution at the room temperature. If the maximum amount of solute is dissolved in solvent, and that solution is called concentrated solution, saturated solution. And if we want to increase the solubility of saturated solution, we can heat it. Means we can increase its temperature, then more amount of solute can be dissolved in the solvent. Okay. Now next point is ratio of mass and volume, means percentage mass by mass percentage, and secondly mass by volume percentage. So if we want to calculate the mass by mass percentage, formula is given here. Suppose in a saturated solution we add salt. So mass of that salt upon mass of that solution into 100 we get the percentage. Formula is already given here. Mass by mass, by means slash, mass by mass percentage. So mass of solute upon mass of solution. You don't write like this, just write the full words into 100. This is m by m percentage. And what is m by p? Mass of solute upon volume of solution. This is into 100, sorry, 100. So this is called mass by volume. One interesting example is given, just read it, it is very easy, you can do your own. Now, so this is all about about the solution is true solution. Now suspension solution. Second type of solution, suspension. Very good example of suspension solution is when we add the soil in water. So, and we stir it in the beaker. This type of solution is called suspension solution. Here, the path of light, when we pass the light from it, the path is visible because the particles are big enough to scatter the light. In true solution, particles are very small, less than 1 nanometer. But here the particles are in bigger size. They can scatter the light, so path of the light is visible. But students, when it is left undisturbed for some time, all the soil particles will settle down slowly. After that, if we pass the light, it won't be visible. We can't see the path of light because the particles which are responsible for scattering of light are settled down. So, suspension solution here, properties are given. It is a heterogeneous mixture because particles are big enough, sand particles. They do not dissolve fully in the water. Particles of suspension solution can be seen with our naked eye. These particles can be seen with our naked eye. Particles of suspension scatter a beam of light when the light is passed through it. But after some time, if it scatters undisturbed. So, in the starting, there are the particles of the soil throughout the solution. So the path of light is visible. But if we left it undisturbed, what will happen? All the soil particles are deposited at the bottom, and what will remain here? Just the water. And water is a true solution. So the light is not visible. So in this we can say that it is not stable. Here, because if we kept undisturbed, all the particles will settle down. In the starting, they can pass the light, they can scatter the light because particles are in throughout the solution. But when they settle down, the path of light is not visible, students, here. Because the responsible particles of the soil are settled down here. So they don't show the Tyndall effect. The solid particles settle down when a suspension is left undisturbed. That is, suspension is unstable. They can be separated from the mixture by simple process of filtration. So, true solution cannot be separated through the filtration. Suspension can be separated. Particles settle down, suspension breaks, and it does not scatter the beam of light. So students, today we have learned about the two types of solution, that is true solution or we can say solution, and also about the suspension solution. About the colloidal solution, its property we will learn in the next period, and also we will compare the property of three types of solution. So now time for homework. Write properties of solution and suspension solution. Also write examples. So this is your homework today, students. Okay, we will meet in the next session. Bye. Take care.